Bam, we are on. Hello and welcome everyone. I am Becky A. Davis, also known as the Chief BOSSpreneur, and I spend my time and my days as a business growth architect, putting together plans to help women accelerate their business. And I'm excited and want to welcome you to the Boss Girl Magic webinar series. This series is sponsored by the Coca-Cola Company. The Coca-Cola Company has a small business women initiative that is dedicated to enabling and empowering 5 million women entrepreneurs by the year 2020. So there's two years and about 9 months left for them to hit that target. And so this is one of the ways that they are being able to touch some of those women entrepreneurs is in our partnership and sponsorship together. So I'm excited, and thank you to Coca-Cola for first of all investing in a small business women, and to be able to provide a platform to be able to teach and help more small business. So I'm excited about that. And I want to, hold on, I'm going to turn share my screen with you so we can kind of go through what we have for tonight. Let me pull this up. Okay, so let me share my screen. All righty, so let's do this thing. Hold on, let me get it set where we can. All right, so there we go. If you missed out, if you missed us Tuesday, Doreen from Radical Success, the Steve Harvey company, as the Senior Vice President of Operations for Act Like a Success, shared with us on Tuesday, which was just amazing. And I have some more amazing women that will be a part of this Boss Girl Magic series that will be coming up for you. So just stay tuned so we can continue to help invest in you by sharing some amazing, phenomenal women and them sharing their information, content, strategies, nuggets, tips, ideas, all that stuff to help us to get better. And so this is a part of the BOSSpreneur Business Circle series. The BOSSpreneur Business Circle is an organization and a networking platform that I found that's dedicated to the advancement of women-owned businesses. And so we provide training and workshops. We provide live events, virtual events as well. We have a membership portal for our members as well to be able to connect, because our vision is to be the global leader in women-to-women partnerships and transactions. That means we want to make sure that we are connecting women to other women business owners. So that in itself, I'm just excited about. And so for those of you who do not know me, let me introduce myself to you. I am Becky A. Davis, also known as the Chief BOSSpreneur. Just to give you some ideas about my background, I worked 20 years in corporate America. I left the organization as a regional vice president, working in retail management. That meant I was responsible for over 250 store locations in the Southeast market. So there were about 7 states that I was responsible for. I traveled quite a bit. 80% of my time I was on the road, somewhere visiting one of my markets and one of my stores. And now today I work as a business growth architect. And what I do is I create growth strategies. I create plans myself, and I have a team that works with me to help businesses to accelerate. So I use big business strategies, the things that I learned in corporate America, to apply those to the structure and format to get small business results, for small business to grow. And so I absolutely love what I do. But working in corporate America, one of the things that I realized is that was a skill set of mine when I first started my business, is that as in management and leadership for so many years, I always had to the company would give us our sales and projections and our targets and goals and stuff for the year. And you had to come up with your plan and your strategy to be able to implement and execute to hit those goals for profit, your sales numbers, your customer service numbers, those things. And I've been doing that for over 20 years. So when I started my business, that was the exact same thing that I did because I didn't know not to do it. And but it has really been a catalyst to help me build success out in my business in a shorter amount of time. So one of the things that I want to share with you, these are some of the clients that that I work with. I work with CVS Health. CVS have done some training for CVS Health. I am currently working with the National Council of Negro Women. They're headquartered in DC. There's local chapters all over, but I work with the headquarters and I do small business webinars for them. DuPont is a client that I work with doing small business training for entrepreneurs that they focus on. Walmart, I have clients that are part of Walmart because I do leadership development training as well. And there are some people that are in corporate America that want to start their own business as well. I've worked with Odyssey Media. I've been their entrepreneur coach for this year will be 6 years for them. And as you can see, this, what is this doing? This webinar is sponsored by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is a client as well. For Black Enterprise, that do executive coaching at their Women of Power Summit as well. Target as one of clients in Target. MARTA is the transportation center here in Atlanta. Scholastic, I've worked with clients in Scholastic, people in leadership development and people that are looking to transition as well. And so I've been very fortunate to be able to work with a lot of organizations. And then the city of Atlanta is a client of mine too. And right now the city of Atlanta is having a whole lot of issues going on within the city. But I work with clients, and right now just maneuvering through all the stuff that's going on is definitely challenging as well. So these are some of the clients that I have been fortunate enough to work with as a business owner, and have been fortunate enough to be featured in different media outlets for some of the work that I've done. So being featured in Essence and Black Enterprise and the Network Journal and some radio and television and Huffington Post and Forbes. There's different things. And it's really just truly been a blessing to for your work to be recognized, for things that you're doing to be a part of it. So I am really excited about what I've been able to do in working with some of the clients that I've worked with. And so just to give you an idea about who I am, what I do, what I've done, what my background and what my skills are, because I think sometimes people I want to make sure people know that, so they know exactly why I'm sharing what I am sharing with them. So I want to talk to you tonight about the blueprint to really be able to accelerate your growth. And I want to talk to you about that tonight because one of the things that has really helped me to accelerate the growth in my business. You know, when you start a business, you don't know when the money is coming in and when the first check is coming in. And when I first started my business, I had allotted myself, 6 months before I should have some money coming in. And then I said, well, 6 months to a year. By 6 months, I should have closed a client somewhere. And when I started my business, the second month I closed my first client, and it was a year contract that I closed with that client. I was like all giddy as I'll get out, just like, oh my goodness, you're kidding me. And 3 months later, I closed my second client, and it was a year client as well, too, that I worked with the client for a year. So I was thrilled to death, y'all. You have no idea. And it was in building those, that clientele and those people referring me that my business really started to continue to grow. And so I want to share with you some things that I've learned about business and some things to put in place for you to accelerate the growth of your business. Now, if you have questions as I'm going through some of this information and content, please feel free to click on the Q&A button and type it in there. there. And as I go throughout, I'll jump in and look at some of those questions, and then I'll jump back into the content. And when we close, I'll definitely close to do a Q&A session, because I like to answer questions to be able to help as much as I can with the participants that are attending the webinar tonight. So just to kind of take you through, there are five stages of all small businesses. Every small business will, some will hit all of these stages, which is great if you go to all the way to the end. Some will hit the first stage and then never see any of the other stages. And so the first stage is the startup stage. And the startup stage is exactly what it says. It is when a business has literally just gotten started. The CEO, the owner, is 100% hands-on in their business. If for anything growing and happening, the CEO is a part of making that happen. And you're just trying to figure out some pieces. Sometimes you're still trying to make sure that you connect and get with your the target market, that your products and your services are what they should be. But it's literally startup. You've been in business less than a year. That's the first stage of any small business, is the startup stage. The next stage is the survival stage. Now, one of the things with the survival stage is that most of the time, the survival stage or businesses, they're struggling with revenue. You're just trying to keep your head above water. You don't want to drown. There are people that are in the survival stage, and they're in the survival stage because they're not clear on some of the pieces of their business. They're still trying to figure out a lot of the moving parts in their business, and there's a lot of moving parts in business. So you're struggling with money in the survival stage. You get frustrated a lot in the survival stage because you get frustrated with everything that is taking to run this business. There's a lot of things that you realize you have to do, you don't want to do, you don't know how to do, so you don't do them. And your business stays in the survival stage. Here's the thing about the survival stage. Most of the small businesses that fail never make it out of survival stage. That's the stage where they just say, okay, I've tried and I just think I'm going to give up. In survival stage, a lot of people will, they'll work on their business and then they'll pull themselves out of their business. They'll get tired. Then they'll come back in. I was doing a consultation this week with someone who is in survival mode. And when I asked her how long she'd been in business, she said, well, 10 years. Well, I started my business 10 years ago. I've been actively working in my business. I think it was like for the last year. And I said, okay, when you say actively, tell me what that means. And she was like, well, I really do it part-time. So the more questions, the less work. And so that's why the business is struggling, because it got hard, and I wasn't making any money. I was just trying to keep my head above water. So I went and got a job, and then I kind of do this on the side. So the survival stage, that is one of the critical stages of business. The owner is very hands-on in the survival stage. And most of the time it's either the owner and maybe one person, if maybe two people, but it's a small group in survival stage. And so the survival stage can be scary for businesses. Then you have the success stage. And this is where we all strive to be. We want to get to the success stage. Well, in the success stage, it basically means that you're making money. The opportunity is you need to now scale, or you will stay in success. Now, there's a couple of things with success. A lot of businesses get in the success stage. They're making money. I have money coming in. Now, do I want more money? Yes, but I'm making money. I'm not in the survival stage where I don't know where money is coming in. I'm stressing about money. I need to make more money. In the success stage, you're not stressing about money because you're making money, but you might not be making what you want to make. You know that there's more that you should be making. What happens, a lot of small businesses get into the success stage, and one of two things happen. You can get in success stage and get stagnant, because there are a lot of small businesses who don't want to grow beyond where they are. if you're making money and you're in the success stage and you don't want to, you're comfortable with where you are, a lot of people will stay in success and they'll be in business for years just at that bar of success. Or you can go the other way. You're at success and you're like, okay, it's time for me to take it to the next level. So there are too often a lot of people that are in success, the owner can disengage because, you know, I'm making enough money. And as long as I kind of keep doing what I'm doing, I'm making enough to get by. I'm making enough to pay my bills. I'm making enough that I like the lifestyle that I have. So I'm okay with that. So you can disengage and just get stuck. And there's a lot of businesses that are in that category. Or you have the ones that are in success and they're like, okay, now I need to get to the next level. I'm at a ceiling. I did a consultation last week with a client. Well, she's a client now. It was a consultation last week. And one of the things she said, she was definitely in a success stage. She was making really good money. And so she was bringing in revenue between $15,000 and $20,000 a month. So she was doing well. The issue was, she said, I've been doing that consistently for the last 3 to 4 years. No growth beyond that. And she was like, I know I'm missing something. I know there's something that I'm not doing. I know that there's some pieces that I don't have. She said, but I'm not struggling. I'm making money, but it's been the same thing, you know, almost 4 years. And because it's been repeated, she's like, okay, there's that means there's no growth in the last 4 years, but revenue is coming in. That can happen in the success stage. You can make enough money to live and to live comfortably. But then she was one of those people that went to her step was, there's more money that I'm leaving on the table. There's things I don't know. There's things I'm not doing. And in looking at her business, there was a lot of missing pieces. Like, you fix these, you're going to double what you're making. And so that can happen to you when you're in the success stage. Then there's the soaring stage. Soaring stage is you are making really good money. As the CEO, you have a team that you're working with. You have people that are working with you, people that are working for you, whether it's people that you employ, whether it's consultants that do business for you, but you are definitely not doing it by yourself. When you're in the success stage, you have some help there too, but you need, in the success stage, you need to start building out. I need more people. I need to look how to scale this. I need to make this, make the money double and triple in the success stage. Well, in SOAR, you are financially set, you're financially secure, and you're at a place where the CEO has the capability to where they work on the business and they have other people working in the business. In the SOAR stage, the CEO does not have to be present for the company to make money, for the company to continue to develop and to grow, because you have some leadership, you have some people that are working for you. The SOAR stage, that's a good spot. That's a sweet spot. And so in the SOAR stage, at this place, you have a good business model. You know where your revenue is coming from. You know how to make the money that you're making. You've scaled your business in this particular category. And so the SOAR stage is a stage that I believe all businesses should aspire to get to, that soaring stage. And then the last stage is, I can sell this baby. That's where I'm trying to go. I want to be able to sell my business. I don't want to do this for ever. I want to be able to offer and give and build up something so rich and so valuable that someone comes and wants to purchase this, and let's talk about it for the right price to be able to sell it. That, and you know, anytime you really kind of research entrepreneurship, that's really what entrepreneurship is: growing a business and sell, and then you get another business and you build that one up and then you sell. That's what serial entrepreneurs do. So to be able to get to the place for selling your business runs without the CEO. The CEO is ready to sell. So the business does not have to, the CEO is not hands-on. When you look at the sale model compared to the startup model, the survival model, and even the success model, the CEO is in you as the owner, the founder. You are nitty gritty in the middle of it. Once you start getting into success, you're getting some help. When you get to SOAR, you got some people doing some things. As SEL, you can go off for a month and take a cruise or go vacation, or you have to care for someone, and your business still makes money. Your bank account does not change. Now, I want to do a quick poll for everyone that's in the group. Let me get that set up to do a poll based on what I've shared about those 5 different areas. I want to do a poll, and let me set the poll up for you. Okay, so the poll is, what stage is your business in right now? When based on everything that I just talked about, go ahead and just click in. I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds to click what stage is your business in right now. All right, I'm gonna give about 30 more seconds. Okay, so here are the results of the poll. There is 40% in 40% in startup. 40% of the people that are on the call are in startup, and 53% are in survival, and then 7% is in success. And I'm not surprised, because usually this is where it's either startup, survival, a lot in survival, and success. Those are normally the 3 categories where I see, or the people, the clients and people that I've been working with, it's normally one of these 3 areas. And so that's there you go. Now you can be able to actually see the poll. So survival is the area where the majority rests. 57% is in survival mode. And when you think about survival mode, just kind of share in the comments, what are you feeling in survival mode? What are some of the feelings that you have in survival mode? Share something. I know for me, frustration was what I felt in survival mode, trying to figure out the next time income, the next client. It drove me crazy. So in the chat, just jot down, what were some of the things you were feeling when you were in survival mode. And then we'll talk about startup as well. Yes, anxiety, frustration. Yes, anxiety is a really good word, because you're like, I'm ready. What am I missing? Was the question. What the heck? Oh, that's exactly, what am I not doing? I think I'm doing everything. What the heck is going on? Frustration. Oh yes, stress is one of the things, because you're concerned about the next dollar, and you're just like, oh my goodness. Frustration and confusion, because the confusion gets to the place of, so what do I need to be doing? I'm confused about where to go now. And so I get that. So for those of you that are in startup stage, what are some of the things you are feeling in startup stage as you get your business started? I know for me in startup stage, I was feeling anxious. I was definitely anxious. I was a bit nervous, is what I was feeling. I was excited because I had actually started, but I was nervous, I was scared, I was anxious. I wanted it to work out. So what are some of those things? I'm not sure what to feel. Anxiety, Yes, very much so. Anxiety and frustration, and just a little tired of living client to client, like check to check. That is so true, Daniela. Client to client, especially if you're living client to client and it's a short-term client. So it's client to if I'm working 3 months with a client and then I don't get the next client to another 3 months. So never being able to build up 5 clients at a time, 3 clients, but 1 client to 1 client. Yeah, you're right. It can definitely drive you crazy. Excitement and fear. Yeah, that's perfect because you're excited, but you're scared at the same time. Fear and unsure of what to pinpoint as a business model. All of those, everybody has felt this. So first of all, you need to know we have all been in this place before, feeling all of these feelings, which is why, especially when you get from startup to survival, it can be frustrating as heck because you're just wanting to be able to have income and revenue coming in a way where it's not stressing you out. About how to do it. So I want to share with you 5 different areas of your business that you really need to be planning. Let me tell you, when you're in these stages, when you're in startup and when you're in survival, here's some things that in your business where why you are struggling. First of all, you're not positioned correctly in the marketplace. And what I mean by that is that either people are unclear about what you have to offer, or you're offering too many things at one time, or you are a speaker, a baker, and the candlestick maker. And so you confuse people and they don't know if they want the candlestick maker or the speaker, or, well, let me just go ahead and get someone who just focuses on baking or just focus. So when you're not positioned the right way, you struggle in startup and in survival mode. Another reason why people struggle in those 2 categories is promotion. Promoting. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Not you promoting and marketing. I'm talking about promoting, how you promote and promotion from it, how you sell your business, how you sell your services, how you sell your products, your the way you seal the deal, close the deal. One thing that I've learned for sure is women struggle more to sell and seal the deal than men do. And so the struggling starts to happen because I'm talking to people about what I do, but it's different in talking to people about what you do, and sharing what you do, how it could solve their problem, and then asking for the sale, asking for the partnership, asking for the deal, whatever it is. We struggle in that area. It wasn't until, I did a lot of consultation calls. I would talk to people about, strategies and plans and what we could do. And I wasn't closing a lot of deals. So I was like, okay, Becky, what the heck are you doing? I figured out what it was I was doing. And I figured out what I was doing because I was working with another team and another someone who I was partnering with and was working with and doing some coaching programs. And one of the things that they did from a follow-up was say, okay, so Becky, when can we get started working together? What works for you? They were moving towards the close. And as I'm listening to them, I'm sitting there thinking, that's what I'm not doing. And so I was like, okay, get yourself together, go restructure this, and then you got to do this different. And so then I changed how I started to sell, how I started to provide the value for what I do. And then before I end, I want to know, so what do we need to do to work together? What's stopping you from taking the next step? And it took me a while to get to that place to be able to say that. But guess what? My sales increased. My sales increase. If you are not be able to promote what you do in a way where you can close and seal the deal, you stay stuck in survival stage. Another reason people are stuck in startup and survival is partners. They don't have partners, or they don't have the right partners, or they don't have enough partners. Partners are people that you build relationships with that can be, that you can, whether it's partnering with organizations to that can then become a referral source for you, or the organization could be the client for you. But building partnerships, and a lot of times when we build those partnerships begin to become referrals for us. Let me tell you, the best thing in the world is referral business, because someone else is speaking on your behalf. And by the time they get to you, it's easy for you to close that deal, because someone that they already trust has spoken highly about you and what you do. And now by the time you get to them, you're really just closing the deal. Well, if you're having to do all of the talking for yourself and for your business, you don't have partnerships, and you don't have some of the right partners. Some of the things I do with clients when we're talking about partnerships is, who do you need to partner with that can help you get to your audience quicker, faster? Most of the time we don't think about that. You know what we're thinking about? We're thinking about the one client, the next client. And because we're thinking about the one client, who the next client is, as opposed to thinking about the one client that has 1,000 of my ideal clients, if I am partnered with that one client, look at where the doors that it opens. And for prime example, for me, Coca-Cola is a client that I have that puts me in front of thousands of my clients every time I speak on their behalf, every time I go to a conference and share their 5x20 initiative. And so instead of me knocking on one door at a time, trying to open that door, and you go into a place where the doors are open, that's what we have to do. You have to get into the mindset of, who do I need to be partnered with? What companies, what organizations, what nonprofits, what civic and community partnerships do I need to have that connects me with a larger group of my target market? So that's a huge, thanks Nisi. That's a huge part. We have to get out of the mindset as entrepreneurs, think about one client here, okay, then the next client here, and thinking about one big client, then get me to a whole lot of clients. Let me get 2 of those big clients that can get me to more. Okay, now let me get 3 of those. That makes things go a lot faster. I have been very fortunate to partner with several organizations, large organizations that house entrepreneurs, and to be able to partner with them, be on their platform, volunteer to for services to help with the platform, opens the door for me to be able to get to my ideal client a whole lot faster than me knocking on one door at a time. Does that make sense? Yes, Catherine, you have to think outside of the box. And too often as entrepreneurs, we're in the box with the lid over our head. It's like, well, this is all I have, is this space right here. The lights are off, it's dark inside of that box. But how can you be able to work with more based on the partnerships that you have? You need influential partners. You need partners that are in media. You need partners that are in television and radio. You need partners that are in political arenas. And when I say partners, you build those relationships, they become partners for you. Period. Period. They become partners for you. So I want you to start thinking different. So when you're struggling in startup, in survival, you have to think about, well, why? I think, Annette, you asked a question. I want to, what am I not doing? Are you partnered with some people? Or are you still just trying to go in and close the deal here with this client or this? How can you partner? How can you, let me look at how I can do this quicker, faster, work smarter? How can I promote my business and close more deals? Is my selling where it should be, or is there some opportunity? So maybe that's what I need to be working on. Pricing. Is my pricing where it should be? Because a lot of times people price themselves out of a situation, just priced out too high, and sometimes they're priced too low. And so because you're not in the right spot, because you don't know your target market the way that you should, you're comparing, well, my prices, I know somebody is doing it and they're doing it at this price, so I'm in comparison. Well, is that really comparison? And so you have to be able to have your pricing right. Another area when you stay stuck is products. So the products that you have, how is it helping people? Is it helping people? I talked to a client. I did a consultation with a client, and she called because she said she's been in business 2 years now. She left her company. She's been in business 2 years now. And she said, I've not made one dime in 2 years. That hurt my feelings. It really did, because I could feel her pain through the phone. And she was like, so I know I know I'm missing something. So when we kind of started talking, her products, here's what happens, and this really comes from my retail background, is we'll put together a product, especially if we're the inventor of the product, we're creating the product or the service, whatever it is. We'll put something together that we think is really great, but we never tested it in the market. Or we ask a couple of friends what they thought, and they was like, yeah, but those friends wasn't the ideal client for that purchase. So we take that bogus information and we think, I know this is good, why is no one buying it? Well, when you test a product, and in testing the product to find out and get some feedback, and did that make sense? Did that work for you? What did you like about it? What would you fix about it? That's when you can really take and fine tune, and that feedback from your test market tells you everything. That's how you market. That's how you reach your ideal clients, because they're telling you exactly what they liked, what they didn't like, what they would like to see changed. And when you go and fine tune that, now you have a viable product that people are wanting, that people are like, oh yeah, I do need that. But too often, there are so many that do not do that when they're thinking about the product. That they're thinking about it just from the standpoint of, I know it's good. Why don't you want this product? And so that keeps you stuck as well. Professionalism will keep you stuck in startup and survival, and you can make money, you can be in success, but sometimes until you fix some of the professionalism will you see a change. And when I say professionalism, is what you offer, what you do, congruent with how you present and represent yourself? Does your website represent the professionalism of who you are and what you bring to the table? Let me tell you guys, I've seen some people with some janky websites. And when I say janky, it's just like I did it myself. And, when people say that, they say that excited. I did my website myself. And it's like, are you a web developer? Do you do? Oh, no. But when you say no, it's like, oh my goodness, what could that possibly look like? And there was a lady, I was doing a speaking workshop, and at the end of the workshop, she came up to me and she was like, I really have to ask you a question, because you kind of sparked some of my thoughts. And I was like, okay. And so she said, she was at a conference. She was talking to a potential client. And as she talked about her product or her service, he was really bought into, and it was something in IT. He was really bought into what she was saying. And she said so much so he was like, well, give me your information. I want to definitely follow up with you. This is something that we've been talking about, something we need. So she was like, this was a good hot lead, a lead that was big enough as a client. She said that would have been like a $20,000 gig had she sealed the deal. And she said she felt the vibes, that it was good. She said, I gave him my business card. And she said, and said, you know, they were going to follow up that next day or that Monday, whatever. And she said, so that Monday when she went to follow up, she called him and she left a message. Then she emailed him, and then she, you know, called again. So now she's like, oh, what's going on? So she had pursued for a minute trying to fit, you know, just let's seal the deal. And when she finally got a hold of him, he said, I think we're going to hold off and just wait a minute. You know, I seen some of the things that you offered on your website, but you know, we'll just hold off. Well, she was like, she said she started thinking about it, and she said he was gung ho and ready to go, and something stopped him. And she said, Becky, I think my website stopped him. I said, why do you say that? And she was like, let me show you my website. So she pulls up her website. I look at the website. I said, that's exactly what stopped him. I said, here's the thought that he had. Why would I invest $20,000 in this product or service, which I think is great, when they won't invest in their own brand? And he ran. He was gone. And she said, I knew it. It was a Created for You website, and it was one of those sites that you can't, it wasn't a personalized site. It would have the name of the where you can get the free, at the bottom it said, get your free website here too. And I told her, I said, for him to invest $20,000 and not see that you're willing to invest $500 for a website, I said, that will stop people in their tracks, you know, all the time. And that's exactly what it did. It stopped him in his tracks. And I said, so it was the presentation of what you had to offer. So professionalism, whether you get it or not, it plays a big part. From the marketing, the flyers, the things that you put out, plays a big part. Coming out of corporate America, working with our training and development department, quite often putting together training programs. One of the things that I learned is, you know, I would create a program, get with training and development. They look at the program, and I'm just creating the raw content. Well, when training and development finished with it and put all the workbooks and stuff together, I was like, wow. This is amazing, because there was nothing going to go out in the company that looked like I was at my desk, printed it out, and then now we're going to go and teach it to the company. No, they would take and they would package it. And so when I started my business, I packaged things because that's what I knew to do. I didn't know any different. And I remember I went to an expo, and I was vending at my very first expo. I've been in business 5 months. I was vending at my very first expo. And so people were coming around, they were coming to the booth, and we were talking, and I ended up talking to this business owner. And as we started talking, and he was like, well, how long have you been in business? I was like, well, you know, I really just started my business. I've been in business 5 months. And he just stopped, and he was like, there's no way you've been in business for 5 months. And I was like, yeah. And he looked at my vendor booth, and he looked at the products on the table, and he was like, so where'd this come from? Or how did you? And it basically was, I got more people interested in my business and my brand just because of the presentation of it. It makes a difference, you guys. It makes a huge difference. It draws people to you, and they know if you're willing to spend some time and put some money into giving out the best possible product, marketing, business cards, website. I've changed my website 3 times. Is it 3 or 4? But each time it was to get better. Each time it was to make it a little bit better. Each time it was just to take it up a step notch. Okay, now I want to do. And it was as my business grew, my website grew. I wanted to continue to position myself and my brand from a professional standpoint. So it makes a big difference. Annette says, Becky, we took some advice from you at the first BOSSpreneur breakfast, and we started building relationships towards partnerships. Yes, Annette, that's exactly it. Thank you. We did it, and it has showed and showed it to Becky, and she tore it up with lots of love. I remember that. I did with Annette. We looked at the website, and I looked at the website, and I was like, okay, so I'm confused. I'm confused on the website. Really don't know what's going on with, and because that is the only way that they're going to know what they need to do to get better, to attract the clients that they need. And they took it in love. So Annette, thank you for sharing that. Nisi says, wow, presentation for everything that we put out there. It is impactful if we are not presenting ourselves in the way that, I mean, we want people to pay us a ton of money, but we want to spend very little in what we put out and what we position. And that's not a good thing. You know, I've been at events where people, coaches, speakers, they were offering $1,000 packages. And then when they handed you the form to fill it out, it's something they printed out and perforated, they cut it out. And it's like, you want someone to pay $1,000 and you're not even willing to invest $1 per color slide? Come on now. Those are the things, they matter. Whether you realize it or not, they matter. Let's see, Melanie, I think that's what it says, thank you for the recommendation on changing of the website. I've also had heard using more relevant avenues such as phone apps are helpful for marketing and for growth. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We have to be able to look at our business from the perspective of how are others seeing my business, because sometimes we're too close to it, and when you're too close to it, it's just like dead fish. If you come in the house and the fish smells horrible, I don't care what house you go into, if there's dead fish, you smell it as soon as you walk in. You're like, oh, something stinks. And you get in, and my stepfather fished a lot. And there was a lot of times I came home from school and I walked in the house and I would be like, he got fish in that bucket. Golly, it stinks, because the whole house smelled like that. But once I got started doing different things in the house and, you know, watching TV or doing homework, the fish smell will go away. I didn't smell it anymore, and didn't even realize the fish was in there until someone else came and said, man, that fish stink. Sometimes we're too close to what we do to smell the stinking fish in our business. And so sometimes you got to step out, and sometimes you got to let someone else step in and say, hey, fish stink in here. You might need to fix some stuff in your business. And so those are some things, your planning process. If you're stuck in struggling for survival and in startup, then the planning is an opportunity. And I want to share with you some areas that you must plan for in your business that too often people do not do the planning here. So let me share my screen with you. So the areas, this is something that I use with clients. So when we think about from startup to selling the business, if you're in startup and you want to get, the first goal is success. I just want to get to a success where I'm making some money. So from survival to success, from startup to success. So I want to be able to at least get to success. And so these are steps that I walk through clients through as well. So the first step is there. This is the road to there. Where is there for you? What does that look like? You need to know everything that's about there. How's your business performing? What's the environment that you're around? What's your profitability? What partnerships do you have? What relationships do you have? What is there for you? And so coming up with all of your theirs, I need this. When my business is there, it's making this amount. When my business is there, I have this many clients. When my business is there, I have some different partnerships. So what is your there? That's the first step. Number 2 is the current state. So if I'm in startup, what's going on in startup? Well, I'm trying to figure out and get myself positioned right. I'm trying to make sure I get my target market. I have a product, or my product I don't have a product, or I have a service. What is your current state? That's step number 2 to get to the road to there. Where I want to be here, but where am I right now? If I am in survival, what are some of the things that's happening in survival? I'm trying to get more clarity. I'm trying to make more revenue. I'm trying to close more deals. What are the things in your current state? That's step number 2. Then step number 3 is the gap. The gap between there and your current state. All of this right here in the middle, what's going on in the gap? Because once you know some of the things that are going on in the gap, well, my there is to have, 5 partners that are opening doors for me, whether they're corporations, is to have 5 partners. My current state, I have 0. The gap, I need to work on partnerships. And so you start to figure out from there to where you currently are, what the gaps look like, and you get it out of your head, you get it on paper. Out of your head, get it on paper, because you need to see it. You can't just keep thinking about it. A strategy and a plan requires you to write something down. To get it out of your head, get it on paper, the gap. Then you go over to 4. 4, what are some of the cautions? What are some of the pitfalls? What are the roadblocks that I'm going to run into? You start to write those down. Roadblocks could be, I have no idea how to do social media, or I'm not sure how to work an email marketing campaign. Put every roadblock that has gotten in your way to this point, put those roadblocks down. All of this is going to matter when you be able to put your strategy together, but you need to get it out of your head. You need to put it down. So what are the roadblocks? What are the cautions? What are the things that might get in the way that you know of? Put those things down, because then you can come up with, how do I overcome some of those barriers? How do I overcome some of those? And once you do that, from there to your current state, what the gaps are, what the roadblocks are. Step number 5 is get on the road. Now you're ready to get on the road. Get on the road is the actions that you need to take, the planning that you need to create to get to there. 5 steps. 5 steps. These 5 steps alone, just doing the work of these 5 steps. When I'm working with a client one-on-one, this is a actual big poster board that I have. We post it up and we have sticky notes, and we go from each one of those areas, and then to be able to begin to start to plan. So the road to there, how do you actually get there? And so then the planning begins. These are 5 areas in your business that needs a plan. You need an operation plan. You need a marketing plan, a customer care plan, a revenue plan, and an innovation plan. In my 20 years in working in retail as a manager for Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies, these were strategies implemented in every last one of those organizations. Operations plan, marketing plan, customer care plan, revenue and finance plan, and innovation plan. These things you must have in place. Now, with each one of those, your operations plans, your operation plan is basically everything to operate your business. That's what the operations is. What are all of the things to operate your business? Because operations wants to make sure marketing is where it needs to be, products, all of that. What's the plan? Operations is the overall operations of the entire organization. You need a plan for that. Your marketing plan is, what does the marketing look like for my business, for my brand? How am I going to get the message out and not be the best kept secret? So what's my social media strategy? What's my digital strategy? What's my email strategy? What's my video strategy? What's my speaker strategy? What's my millennial strategy? What's my product strategy? You need a marketing strategy for all of these different areas. And so with customer care, what's my response time? If someone is buying a product or a service, what's the turnaround time for me to make sure that is out? What is my plan to ensure that I'm exceeding my customers' expectation? What is my plan when there's a disgruntled customer? What's the plan for that? Because you know what happens? When those things happen, we just figure it out as we go. And let me say this to you. because this is a pet peeve of mine out of the wazoo. The Bosspreneur Business Circle was actually designed to help connect small business women to small business women, for us to do work together, for us to partner with women in the within the circle. And so my goal as the founder and CEO is, as we build this out, if the needs that I have in business to go to the women in the circle who offer that service. Here's what I want you to know is we have to take care of the customer as well. Not just because you're a small business, not even because you're a minority-owned business, but because what you provide, what you offer, it's great and the service matches it. Y'all, let me tell you, it drives me crazy. I'm paying my money, period. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm paying my money. And if I'm paying my money, there should be a service level. I was working with a small business owner, and on the website, I was working with a business owner that did clothing, and so tailor-made clothing. So I was like, okay, yeah, cool. On the website, it said, once you select what you one of the signature pieces and turn your measurements in, then it takes 3 weeks to make the actual item and then ship it out. So cool. I see what 3 weeks, no problem. When we got to that 4th week, I was like, hey, I bought something and it's been 4 weeks. Let me just find out. So I was like, hey, just checking on the status of a product. Like, oh, we had some issues with fabric and we're trying. Okay, you never notified me at your promise date was 3 weeks. We're at 4 weeks. You never notified me. We're in the process. We're working on it. We're going to have it out to you momentarily. I said, okay. Do you have an estimate time frame? We'll have it to you within the next 7 days. We'll be shipping it to you. Okay, I'll hold tight for that. Well, 7 days passed by. I forgot about it. Other life happening, forgot about it. By the time 2 weeks passed by, I was like, hey, I still haven't get on our email. I was like, hey, last we spoke, you said it was going to be shipped out on this day. Yeah, what the issue was, listen, you're a small business owner. I'm patronizing you and you're not taking care of me just as a customer. That craps drive me crazy. And let me tell you, you losing money from people who you might have the greatest product in the world. But listen, you losing money when you do that, because you know what it made me say? Okay, you got some amazing stuff, but I'm not going to buy it too often. And then I was like, okay, I'll get some every now and then. Well, that happened every single time that I purchased. Every time. And it doesn't matter if it was $20, it was still my money. In this situation, it's $300, $400. I'm really feeling some type of way with you having my money and I don't have my product. And we 7 weeks into this thing, give me my money back by then. Now, how am I? You just affected your reviews. That kind of stuff that happens so often, and then when it happens, I'm just like, okay, let me just pull back. I'm done. I'll go somewhere else. And then people are like, well, we need to work with each other. Yes, but work in excellence. Work in excellence. I missed an order. Someone had ordered something from me on my website and I missed it. Didn't see it. Well, the person reached out to me and said, hey, I'm just checking in on my order. And they told me the date that they ordered. And I was like, let me see. Because I track everything. I learned the hard way. I do a tracking number. So if I ship something, I can track it. I can send them the tracking number. So I was like, okay, let me check into it. I check into it. And guess what? I missed it. Totally. I was like, oh my God, it's been 4 weeks. And usually once the order comes in, I'll get it out to you right away. It had been 4 weeks. I was like, oh my God, this person ordered a book, they ordered a shirt and forgot about it. When they was like, hey, 4 weeks, I responded, you know what? I did get the order. I totally overlooked it. My apologies to you. I'm going to get that shipped out to you right away. They were like, okay. When I shipped it out to them, they had ordered a book and a shirt. I sent an extra shirt in there. I sent an extra book in there. And I sent a handwritten card that said, my apologies for this taking 4 weeks to get. Please accept these other two as a token, whether you give them to someone else or keep them for yourself. But I really appreciate your business. I got on, the person posted on social media, oh my God, I got my product in from Becky, and she added a bonus in there. She didn't even talk about, I forgot about it. She just said she added a bonus. This is amazing, because I dropped the ball. That was 100% on me, and I own that. And we have to do better with that. If we make a commitment to our customers and our clients, you have to meet that commitment, and you have to figure out how you're going to exceed that. So you need a strategy. You need a plan for that. You need a finance plan. Where's your revenue going to come from? Where are the streams designated for? So if you don't have a plan or a strategy for those particular areas, guess what's going to happen? You're probably not going to get that. Take care of your clients at every level. Yes, Catherine. I mean, take care of them, and especially when I do have a client, especially a client when we work one-on-one, they're always surprised by what I do, because I want them to know I appreciate them. So there are things that I do that they're like, oh my God, I didn't expect this. That's a part of my business strategy and plan, is to exceed their expectations. There are things that they know they're going to get, but there are things they have no idea that they're going to get. And I love to see the reaction that they have when they get it. But that's a part of my customer strategy plan. That's a part of what I do with clients that I have. My corporations, that they get something every year for the holidays, to know I really appreciate you. And guess what they say? Oh my God, we didn't expect this. I need you to know, from a customer service standpoint, I got you. I'm going to take care of you. So y'all, we have to get better and have the strategy for that. You need a revenue strategy. You need an innovation strategy. In this day and age, innovation is so big right now. How are you keeping your business relevant? How are you innovating and taking care of things that you need to take care of to keep people actually engaged? Let me read one of these comments. Thank you for that recommendation on changing up your website. Okay, that's taking inventory. That's my pet peeve too. I'm a former district retail manager. Girl, so you know what I mean then. And I don't play that poor customer service stuff. Exactly. Oh my God, y'all, I can't even begin to tell y'all. If you walk into one of my store locations and people were not greeted in a certain amount of time, people were not talked to in a certain amount of time, oh, me and that manager was going to have a conversation. It's like, you got these people that walked in your store, they walked in your house, and you're not going to take care of them? No, you take care of your customer. I was so focused on customer care that as a regional vice president, I told my regional directors, if I get a call from a customer, because first it goes to the store manager, goes to the district manager, regional manager, before it gets to the VP. I said, if I get a call from any customer in the store level, whatever they purchase, it's free. So you need to fix whatever you need to fix. But by the time that it gets to me, I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to take care of what I need to take care of. Okay, you know what? That has been a long time. We're going to give those to you for free. We'll give you your money back. We'll make sure you still get the product that you ordered. So don't let it get to me, because they were like, well, we don't want to refund the money. Our sales drop. Take care of the customer. I'm not gonna ever get into a fit when you take care of the customer. If you just giving away stuff, that's a whole nother thing. But take care of the customer. And guess what? I rarely got calls that came up all of those chains to get to me, because the leaders knew we need to fix this. We do not want Becky to get this call because a customer was not taken care of. As a small business owner, you have to do the exact same thing, because guess what? Your customers are coming in less frequently than a corporation who can market at a whole nother level than you. You have to take care of your customers. As you guys can see, this is a pet peeve for me, because it drives me crazy. Yes, we all drop the ball. Yes, we all make mistakes. Yes, we screw up some stuff, but how do you fix it for the customer so that your brand, your reputation stays the same because you fixed it for the customer. So I want to take a poll from you on this. Let me share my screen with you. I want to do another poll to find out from you based on these 5 areas of your business: operations, marketing, customer care, revenue, and innovation. Let's do this poll, and I want you to see. Where we go? Poll. I want to see launch. Hold on, let me get to the next poll. There we go. Okay. What areas do you need a strategic plan in? And it only is going to allow you to pick the number 1 area that you know you need a strategic plan in. Is it operations, marketing, customer care, revenue, innovation? I'll give you about 20 more seconds, and then we will give you the results. This is interesting. Let me show you guys the results of the poll. So, okay, so here's the poll numbers. So marketing, 57% say I need a marketing strategy. I don't have a marketing strategy. And then revenue, a revenue strategy. Operations is the last area. I need a operations strategy, and innovation is the final one. So marketing, revenue, and operations. So from an just to give you the picture, with operations, marketing, customer care, revenue, and all of that comes up under there, because operations is what's the totality of the business, how are we going to grow, what's our business development plan, what's our marketing plan, what's our product plan, all falls really up under that umbrella. But then there's key areas, like you're saying, that need to be worked that you might need to work on. So that's some good information to know. So what I want to do is I want to open it up for a Q&A session. Let me make sure that's what I have set. Okay, so I have this up here because based on some of what you've heard, Godformations is a term that I coined from every time I would say, oh, that was a confirmation, that was a confirmation. I was like, oh, yes, thank you, God. Then I realized that wasn't a confirmation, that was a Godformation. God confirmed that to me. I had already was kind of thinking about or leading towards that, and you send the right person to kind of confirm what I need. So that's what a Godformation is. So how many of you, just based on some of the things that we've talked about, has had some of those Godformation moments like, oh my God, when it comes to the 5 stages of business, I know where my stage is, and I know some of the areas where I'm struggling based on some of the things we talked about, or I don't have this strategy plan. How many of you had some of those aha moments tonight? Oh, I know y'all had some aha moments. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yeah. Yes, the light bulb is on, Yes, good. That just means when you have those moments, it says, okay, that means I can do something different in that moment. There's something that I can do different. So here's what I wanted to, I want to do a Q&A, and I want to answer any of the questions that you may have around anything that I talked about or that I've shared tonight. So I want to open it up for Q&A. You can put it in the Q&A section, or you can put it in the chat box, and I'll read it out loud and try and answer any of your questions that you have tonight. So I'm opening it up now for Q&A. Any questions? Come on. And make sure there's nothing in it. Excellent information. Becky, how important is it to have a website for your business? It's very important because we're in an age of social proof. We're in an age where people have their cell phones on them in their hand at all times. And because it's so accessible to them in this day and age, without having a website, without having social proof, it makes people think, are you really legit? And that it's good and it's bad, but in this day and age, not having a website when people want to vet you, think about companies that you talk to and you was like, oh man, that sounds good. You go and you check them out. If they can't come check you out, they're gonna be like, what? Nothing. So it's critical to having a website. It doesn't mean that you can't have a viable business, because there are some small businesses that don't have a website. What it does mean, you'll get to a ceiling. You'll get to a place where you can't push beyond where you are. And like, well, why? Well, there's no way for people to connect with you outside. Have had people who have brick and mortar stores, and they're like, man, I'm struggling. And I said, well, do you have an online store that sells your product? No, I don't have a website. So you only can sell to the people within a 30 to 40 mile radius that are going to drive to the store, as opposed to selling to someone in a whole nother country. That's the power of a website. Where should you start in order to create a revenue strategy? Very good question. So when you're thinking about a revenue strategy, here's some of the things that I do with clients from a revenue strategy, because I really want when people to leave and know exactly what they need to do to make their revenue go. So what I do is look at, so what is it that brings in income in your company? Name everything that brings in income. We write all of it down. Okay, I do this. I have a book. I have an online program. I have a coaching program. I have some products that I sell. We write all of those. Okay, let's write those down. What are you selling those for? Write the prices down for everything. It's like, so, okay, what's the target goal you want to make by the end of the year? What type of revenue do you want to make? Well, they'll tell you the revenue. I look at the revenue. I look at what they are, their products, what they're charging for their products, and then say, can back them into, and that's strictly, Catherine, this will make sense to you, this from the retail background, to be able to say, so you'll need to be able to sell 50 books, you need to do 5 coaching programs, you need to do this. So then it starts to come together for them. It's like, oh, that's what I need to do. We literally put a plan and a strategy together. So now I know what I need to do for the year. Now we break down, what do I need to do for the next 60 days, 90 days? How many do I? And you start to look at it from that perspective. You hit the target or you don't hit the target. If you don't hit the target, what you do not do is say, okay, I needed to sell at least 10 books a month to hit my goal for the year. I only sold 5 books. Well, the second month, okay, I'm going to go for 10 again. You got 15 now to go, because you got to make up the 5 you didn't. Because in retail, they didn't write off you didn't make your monthly goal, but you have a number that you need to make for the year. You better figure out how you're going to make that money up. In small business, we let that 5 books go and we just focus on, no. Okay, now I need to get 10 books, 15 books. I got to take it to the next step. So that's how you build out a revenue strategy. Once you build out that revenue strategy and you start working that, then you can see, what am I missing in revenue? What are my clients and customers wanting? They're talking about, I don't offer it. That can bring in another revenue stream. You start to think through some of those things as well too. Let's see. There's a question that says, do you need to go in order with the blueprint? No. No, you don't have to go in any particular order. It's really based on where you are in business at that moment right now, what you need to focus on and start first. Because I really want to have clients to focus on when we go through and we figure out all the pieces, then we narrow down what's the low hanging fruit, what can we fix right now to start generating revenue. Let's put some strategy around just 2 to 3 things. That's it. 2 to 3 areas. The other stuff, yeah, we might need to fix it, but what we cannot do is get overwhelmed. So to enrich instead of overwhelm, then we need to narrow down what we're going to focus on, improve, get better, and then we work on and focus on the second thing. If you're trying to do all of them at the same time, it's going to overwhelm you. Overwhelm creates procrastination. Procrastination creates not taking the action to get it done, and then you look up and you're like, I'm still trying to keep my head above water. So it still keeps you struggling. Let me look in the chat box. There's some questions here too. So Monique asked, what recommendations can you share to efficiently use social media? I'm currently getting my website updated and working on YouTube videos. So what recommendations can you share to effectively use social media? I definitely, for social media, what works best for me is working with a software that can put all of my social media out at one time. And if not, it'll drive you crazy. It's like, I know I need to be on social media. I know I need to do this, and I know I need to do that. I don't feel like it, or I don't have the time. I don't even like doing it. Whatever it is, now you go and put it inside of a system and preset it, because I would go in and I would do 30 days of social media. I would put all the posts, the things that I wanted to share, the events that I have, I would go and put that inside for 30 days, and I go and do everything else. And I was on social media. People saw the stuff coming out there, but I wasn't doing that every day. My strategy, I was doing that on a monthly basis. I would put everything in, and then I hired a social media person that handles that for me now. And so that's how you can a strategy for social media. To put a strategy together for social media, you need to know what you're going to be doing so that you can effectively plan what you're going to post on social media. Because when I post on social media, for the most part now, it's things that I'm doing in the moment that I'll post. Everything else is planned, timed, so that I can use my time differently throughout the day. I hope that helped and answered your question. Nisi asked a question. Got it. Makes sense. Would you then create a marketing plan around what I want to achieve in revenue, how to market, so to speak? So I would definitely put a marketing plan together, because when you create your revenue goal, so here's how I want you guys to think about when you create your revenue goal, and with your revenue goals tells you what you need to do to get to your revenue goal. You know what you have in products, services, all of that stuff. Now your marketing plan is to help you hit that goal. And so even as a part of your marketing plan, when you're trying to hit a revenue goal, networking events has to be a part of your strategy to hit your revenue goal. You have all of the things that can open the doors to hit your revenue goals. Like part of my strategy, speaking is a big part of my strategy. As much as I can get on a platform to speak, as a part of my strategy, because one of the things that I know for sure is when I speak, I make money on the other end. And so if I am speaking, I can drive people to where I want them to go to purchase or to connect, or I can drive them there. So speaking is a part of my strategy. So there's a number of speaking engagements that I have set that I need to do each year. Speaking as a part of, I have engagements that I do, the feed ones, and then the ones that I do pro bono. I have all of those laid into my revenue strategy, because I know how many I need. And as you're creating this, you need to be able to, like I said, it needs to be on paper, because at the end of the year, when you go back and you look at, okay, so I did meet my goal, You need to know I didn't meet my goal because I was off 3 speaking engagements. I didn't sell 10 of these books, and I didn't sell this many products. If you don't know that, you're just blowing in the wind. But if you know that, when you get ready to focus on 2019, you're like, okay, so here's what I need to do. I didn't meet this goal. I still want to make up this money. Here's how I'm going to. Now you have something to work with. Now you have something to work with. Does that make sense to you guys? Yes. So revenue strategy, creating your revenue strategy helps you to create the marketing strategy, because you need it. You know, okay, this is what I need to make. Now my marketing needs to help me get there. My marketing, my products, how I'm going to be marketing these events on this day. I'm going to be marketing this online course. I'm going to be doing this workshop. That's your marketing to get to that revenue goal. Roxy says, Becky, when there's a contract pending, how long should you wait before we contact the client without badgering them? Should an email be sent in 2 days or a call made, or should we just wait on them to make the contact? Do not wait on them to make the contact. You can wait a reasonable amount of time. If when you say when a contract is pending, that sounds like you've gotten to a place where a contract is presented. They've said, yes, we do want to do this, but the contract hasn't been signed. It sounds like what that is. So if that's what the case is, then yeah, I'm following up with them. I'm following up with them. I'm going to give you some time. Oh, 7 days, Emma. Let me just go ahead and send this email. Okay, I sent the email, haven't heard back from them. Okay, I'll go ahead and wait. 7 days, let me go ahead and follow back up with them. Okay, still haven't heard back from them. It's like, okay, I'm going to give them a couple of weeks, and I'm going to follow back up with them. Then I'm going to follow back. You never stop following up until they say no. Period. Because guess what? Life happens for them. You don't know what's going on inside of the business. You don't know if there's been a merger, they've been bought out, people have moved. You don't know any of that because you're not in conversation. And what we start to think is, oh my God, they leaving me hanging. They're not going to, you don't know that. So don't tell yourself those stories because you have no idea if that's exactly what's going on. You keep following up. I followed up for 2 years with the client before I ever closed the deal. And guess what they said? Becky, I'm so glad you stayed in touch with us because, we knew we wanted to work with you. We knew we wanted to do business with you, but, it was so much going on. And every time we would get ready to start something else but because I followed up and kept my name in front of them, kept what we talked about in front of them, when it was finally clear, then it was like, hey, thanks for the message. Can we talk? Can we meet? When we sit and we meet, we close the deal. So don't ever stop following up until you hear, no, we're not going to move forward at this time. Then you say, okay, you wrap that up, but then you come back 6 months. Hey, just checking back in with you. Hope things are going well. Or you continue to build that relationships. People that I've pitched to that I want to work with and we're not ready right now. Oh, they're going to get something from me at least twice a year. I'm not going to let them just forget about who I am. They're going to get something at least twice a year. So always follow up with them. Let's see. Okay, answered this one. Let me see what else. I'm going to answer this last one. How do you appropriately set a speaker's fee? So that's a kind of a loaded question there. And let me tell you why it's a loaded question. How do you appropriately set a speaker's fee? Because your speaker's fee is based on different things. Your speaker's fee is based on your skill set. It's based on your content and delivery. It's based on all the things that you bring to the table, the time invested in creating that content for the event that you're going to do. So all of that comes into play. I'll tell you, when I first started speaking, first of all, I did a lot of free events, and I did free events because I needed to hone the skill. I needed to, and if as I'm doing a free event, I think I felt bad if I'm getting paid and I'm not as great as I should be or they should be. So I did a lot of free events, and my free events was a strategy. Hone your skill, fix the areas that you need to fix. Once I felt, I was like, okay, you know, I need to get paid for this. So then I set a speaker's fee. And what we always do when we start, we set a speaker's fee, our speaker's fee lower than it should be because it just feels uncomfortable. My speaker's fee has grown every year. It's grown. And when I say it's grown, I up the fee every year. And I up the fee because I grow. I up the fee because I invest time in speaker training, speaker workshops, speaker courses. I invest time in honing my skill, in the practice of my skill, and being able to speak without notes, without looking at worksheets, but to be able to deliver for an hour, hour and a half from my memory, the content that I'm supposed. So my fee has grown each year because I have grown each year. If you because that's a lot of times when we talk about pricing, people are like, well, this person is making this, but what are they doing? And what time have they invested in their craft, in what they do? There are a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm a speaker, never ever ever taken a class to hone the skill, might have never read a book. It's just like, and there's a difference between speaking and talking. I teach a class called Drop the Mic. It's a speaker certification class. And in that class, what I teach, when we start out, I talk about being a talker and being a speaker. A lot of people say, oh, I'm not afraid to talk. I'm not afraid to speak in front of people. That doesn't mean you're a speaker, because a speaker impacts an audience. It makes you think different. There is a step-by-step strategy to get you to a place where you say, I need to do something different. A talker is just up there talking in front of people, and they're comfortable talking in front of people. But did you take them through any type of transformation? Did you help them to look at something from a different point of view? Did you walk them through some specific things that they can do for themselves in their life to be able to get that transformation? If you're just up there talking, you're a talker that calls yourself a speaker, compared to being a speaker that is focused on impacting the lives of the people that are in the room with them. So setting that fee, when I work with clients on setting that fee, we look at all those different areas to be able to set a fee to really be able to impact the audience and really be able for them to be able to keep increasing their speaker fee. So I hope that helped. I hope that helped. That's perfect. Okay, good. Thank you for that. So you guys, here's what I want to do. I want to, let me share my screen with you. This is what I want to do to be able to help anyone that is interested in the help on the call. I have a course, which is my coaching program, called Cracking Your Boss Code. Is now changed to Profit Code. Cracking Your Profit Code. This is a course that this is what my coaching program is. This is what I teach every client that I have. This is the system that I use. We walk through these areas, and as we walk through these areas, then we define and create the strategy for the areas that's going to help you start to focus on making revenue right away. So we go through all of them, but we focus on the top three, because like I said, we're not focused on overwhelm, we're focused on enriching. So it's called Cracking the Boss Code. It's a full system. And so what I'm offering is a half-day VIP day, which is it's 3-hour private coaching. Right now, I charge $2,500 for a 3-hour coaching session. You get the complete online course. So we work together, but you also get the full online course. The boss shirt comes with it, and there's several one of those. A bonus training called the P Factor, the Profit Factor, where you deal with 3 other P's that help you in business, and then a follow-up coaching call for me, where we do this training session and then 30 days follow-up to see where you are, what are you doing, and putting a lot of those pieces together. Now it comes with a full workbook as a part of this. This is one of the tools that I use to walk my clients through, and they walk out with a ton. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that you end up walking out with. The value of all of it is $33.97, and this is the first time I have ever did this. But offering the session for $1,097, or 2 payments of $603. to do this. This is normally when I do a half day, it's $2,500 for that half day. So cutting the price drastically and adding some of the other bonus to really be able to help you is the offer. And so this is one offer. There's a second offer, and the second offer is not me included, but it's the online course where you can take the online course. There's videos for all 10 of the codes. The workbook is included in there. The boss shirt is included in there. The training, the additional training is in there, and then a 30-minute follow-up call with me once you do the online course. It's $997 for the total online course and everything else that's included in there from bonuses. But today it's $197, and it's $197 for 24 hours. After tomorrow, it goes to $297. So the price of that class alone, that course, is $397. So you save $200 if you decide, okay, I'm going to do the online course tonight. You save $200, and it's $197. If you think about it and you're like, I'm not for sure, and then Saturday you say, oh, I need to get that course, then it's $297. And it goes through the weekend. Sunday is the last day to purchase it. And so the discount codes, I'm going to give you the links to it. The discount code is CTBC, that's cracking the boss code, for the $197. So tonight, if you decide to purchase, I'm going to give you the link to the site, and when you go in to register for the online course, put in that code, and it'll make your fee $197. Tomorrow, you'll put in CTBC 2, and it'll give you $100 off that code. That goes through Sunday. So by Monday, it's gone. And I'm going to put the links inside of thanks so much for your help. You're welcome, Roxy. I'm going to put the links inside of the for you to be able to get to the links. Hold on, let me give them to you now. Did I get that? Okay, yeah. This is the link. You can click on the link and then just have it come to your it'll open up and you can come back to it. So that's the link if you want to do the private coaching with me. It's a virtual, or if you're in Atlanta, we could do it face-to-face, but it's a virtual where we get on. A lot of my clients are all over the country. It's a virtual. We can get on and do a 3-hour virtual, and you walk away with a blueprint and a strategy. We walk through some of these things because sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. But to be able to put a plan together for you, a blueprint with the steps, the actions, even as we talk about partners, we brainstorm some partners that you probably never thought about in your business that I start to create for you. These are some people, these are some companies, these are some organizations based on what you have. One of the things that I do with all of my clients that I work with one-on-one, if there are connections that I can make for them, because they're a client, because I'll only make connections with clients because I know what you're doing, what you're working on, and what we're working on. Then I partner you with some of those people or make the introduction and the connection that can continue to help you in whatever you're doing as well. Let me put this other link for you up for the if you want to do the online course, if that's something that you want to do. Let me give you that link for that. Hold on, let me put it in here. Okay, the second link in. Any questions you have for me about it, you can click that second link and it'll take you directly to that online course. If you do it tonight and put in CTBC, it'll take $200 off and it'll be $197 for that course. And I'll follow with you in 30 days to do a session with you based on what you went through in the course and answer any questions, give you some strategies on there. And that first link is for anyone that is interested in doing a one-on-one course with me for $1,097. I've never done it at that price before. And I was thinking about it and I was like, Okay, Becky, just do it. What questions can I ask? Is there any questions you have for me around that? Becky, is the time frame to complete the online training? No, so when to do the online training, you can do the online training at your pace. So you'll get the information will come out to you, and it'll come out to you in smaller chunks. I don't give it everything at one time because that's overwhelming. So it'll be dripped out to you. But after you start to go through it, you'll get an email from me checking in with you and sending you my appointment calendar if you're ready to schedule an appointment. If you're not ready at that time, you'll get a second one for us to be able to schedule it as well. So you can do the work. The time frame, you can have it done in 30 days if you sit down and go straight through it. I do this in a workshop, and when I do it in the workshop, I do a full day 8-hour workshop, and we go through each one of these areas. So you can have it done in a week and know what the code is, your unique code to your business that you need to focus on. Because of those 10 codes, everybody don't need to be focused on the same thing at the same time. You're in different places. And so it's not a cookie cutter. It's based on what's going on in your business at the time. So thanks for the question, Annette. Any other questions? Any other questions? Let me make sure that other link is in here. Hold on, you guys, because it looks like it's not in here now. Here we go. And when you click on these links, it's going to definitely tell you more about, let me put on here, one-on-one program. All right, put that in there again. Any other questions? Let me just say I would definitely love to work with any of you who are here and to help you move from startup, move from survival, to help you create the plan to get to success and cut some of the stress, the frustration, the things that we feel when we're in business, to help eliminate some of that for you. And let me tell you what helps eliminate that is having a plan and knowing where you're going in business. That's just game changer. It's like, oh, so this is the roadmap. Now I just need to take the steps on the road to get to there where I want to be. One thing I will end with tonight is let me share this. This is one of my favorite quotes. The dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately. So what are you willing to pay for the hustle, for the dream to actually manifest itself? Because there is a price that we all going to pay to get to there. There's a price that we're all going to pay for the dream. And what are you willing to do to get there? Are you willing to get uncomfortable? Are you willing to stretch yourself? One of the reasons why I do a 24-hour deal and then it goes up is because when I read the book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill's book, he talks about Andrew Carnegie, who was a millionaire in our time today. His money would have been considered, but a millionaire in that time. And he, when he talked to him and said, I want you to, I can connect you with some multimillionaires to find out what are some of the things that help them to be successful, but you're not going to get paid for it. But I could connect you with those people, and then you could write a book about it that will change the lives of others. Is that something that you would be interested in? And Napoleon Hill sat for a second and he thought about it and he said, I'm willing to do it. And Andrew Carnegie said that He answered the question, accepted the offer in time. He said, because had 60 seconds had gone by, I would have pulled pulled it back and said, nah, that's okay. We're not going to do it. He said, I wouldn't have made those connections, because one of the things that I know about successful people is that they make decisions. And sometimes you have to make decisions without knowing all of the answers and having all of the plan in front. You just make the decision. And he said he knew it was something that would change Napoleon Hill's life. And if Napoleon Hill in that moment couldn't make the decision to say, okay, yeah, let me do it. He putting you in front of all of these millionaires. He said I would have rejected, because he wouldn't have been the person to actually do that. And so sometimes there are times when we sit on stuff and we sit on it way too long, and then we miss out on opportunities because we don't see all of the picture. We don't see everything, and it holds us back. I remember working when I first started in business. I was invited to this networking event, and the lady that invited me, it was by invitation only. When I get there, I'm like, oh man, this is pretty cool. And one of the ladies, they were talking about the conference that was happening in like 3 months, and you should come to the conference. Well, I had just signed my first client, and the week of the conference, I had a training session, a team training session with my client in the middle of the week, and the conference was Monday through Friday, and that Wednesday I was like, oh no, I'm not going to be able to make it. And she looked at me and she said, I think you should probably figure out how to make this happen, because you need to be in this room with these women. It is game changer for you. She said, you might need to think about how to do it. They were offering a discount to register for the event that night. And so I thought about it, and I went up to her and I said, I think I want to come. And I said, but I have a client that week. Will you give me to Monday? This is on a Friday. Will you give me to Monday so I can at least call my client and reschedule my training with them? Because I don't want to say yeah and pay. And this is my first client. And so she was like, Monday. She said, let me know Monday. Well, that Monday, I called the client and I was like, okay, how am I going to say this to see if we can move this back to the next week? And as I started to talk about, let's talk about getting prepared for the meeting and what the team is going to need. He was like, hey, can we move it back? And I was like, oh, that was nothing but God. I was like, yes, that works perfect. So we moved it back that Monday. As soon as I hung up with him, I called her and I said, okay, I'm coming. She told me the amount, the investment, and it was an investment. And I was like, it's just something about it that I think I need to be there. That was when I first attended the Odyssey Media Conference. It was the first year that I attended it. And the month before attending it, I got a call from the same person, the VP, and said, hey, you said you'd work with entrepreneurs and you coach entrepreneurs. We would like for you to come and be one of our coaches. It's been 6 years that I've been coaching for that organization. In that moment, making that investment and making a decision to say, okay, I just need to do it. And the women, the relationships, Odyssey Media took me on a 15-city tour as their featured speaker, from the serving them as one of their coach. I've created training programs. It's introduced me to other corporations and organizations. I have referrals. 80% of my business for the first 3 years came from those women in that organization. But it was all because I made a decision that I don't even know everything about this company. I don't know all the details, but something feels right. And sometimes when it feels right, we have to make a decision. So the dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately. What are you willing to invest for you to get the dream that you want? Thank you guys so much for taking the time to get on this call with me tonight. I look forward to working with some of you in the near future for sure. If you have any questions, you can definitely email me, reach out to me, whether through the website or you're probably already on one of my email lists where you have my email to be able to refer ask questions. Let me make sure I have this. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm so glad this was helpful for you guys. Thank you for taking the time to spend with me tonight. I'm going to give you back the rest of your night, and I'm going to spend some time with my husband because he just got back in from Canada, been gone for the last 4 days, so I got to let y'all go. I'm sorry. All right, you guys have a great night, and you should get the replay back with by tomorrow. All right, until next time, think big, go hard, and I promise you will live better. Bye.